WK.
Good morning, everybody. Dave Schmidt along with Matt Nestor and producer Tom Warner. Girls high school basketball started tournament this week.
Yeah.
And with us right now from Rockford Christian, we have the all-time leading scorer, and proud to have her on. She's going to be going to Clarke University next year to play some basketball. Jayla Penney. How you doing, Jayla?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Does it seem possible that your high school career is now over? I mean, you guys lost this week in the regionals, but, man, does it seem like it goes fast, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really flew by this season, especially because it was senior year, and we had 6 seniors, so it was really emotional and hard to let go.
You know, I know when you play a team sport like that, you know, that's the most important thing is the win. But now that you can kind of reflect, you know, how awesome is it to leave there as a career-leading scorer?
It's pretty awesome. I set the goal my freshman year for myself, and I was just working towards it, hours in the gym, and it just really helped that I had an awesome team that was there to support me. So it feels good.
Is there one game, Jayla, you look back on your career where you said, well, that's a game I'm not going to forget for a long time?
Yes, there is. Last year, our regional championship game, we played Byron again, and we only lost by 1 point. But it was the fact that everyone underestimated us, so we played great as a team, and we gave them a really good run. So,
you know, you talk about setting that goal as a freshman. That's a lofty goal to set as a freshman. Was there a point where, you know, you kind of thought, you know, I can actually reach this goal?
Yeah, the point was probably junior year last year when I broke 1,000 points. I was like, okay, the goal's more realistic now. I have a chance, and then I just kept working harder. And the AAU side of things really helped because I practiced all summer, and it just helped with being ready to play high school.
You know, if we were the scout on the opposing team and we're looking at Rockford Christian and Jayla Penney, what would they say they would have to do to stop you? What are your strengths?
I don't shoot the three very often, so my strength is I like to drive to the basket. So every team that played us would always just do help defense, so I have to think of ways to get to the basket without getting stopped.
Well, they got to be pretty hard at stopping you, though, if you were able to score that many points without shooting the three very often.
Yeah.
Do you like playing defense too, Jayla? You know, sometimes the college coaches, they look at the whole game. How's your defensive game been over your career?
My defensive game, going from freshman year to sophomore year, completely changed because we got a new head coach for high school basketball, and I honestly didn't know true hard defense until he started coaching me. So as soon as that happened, I was a completely different player because your defense feeds off your offense, and they feed off each other.
What were your first points?
My first points.
Can you remember that far back?
Well, that would have been in the 4th grade, and my first points might have been a granny shot to the basket, to be honest.
Can you remember your first points in high school, Jayla?
I think it might have been a layup.
There you go. Was that pretty cool? You know, when you're a freshman, I don't care how much people think that you're going to be a player of the future. Is that pretty cool to score those first points, you think, when you look back on it?
Yeah, it's really exciting to be on varsity, and then it lets all your nerves go away.
You know, as you look forward to college, what are some of your goals and expectations when you get there?
I just want to develop more as a player and become more of a shooter than I am now and work on the weaknesses of my game that I can strengthen.
And, you know, you signed pretty early and got an academic scholarship, so that means you have pretty good grades. Are you looking forward to that adjustment? I mean, when you go to school at college, it's a little bit different schedule than what you have in high school, but it sounds like grades are pretty important to you.
Yeah, grades are a big deal to me. I'm kind of nervous for the adjustment, but I think it'll be really good. I'm really excited to learn new things and learn at a harder pace than I am now.
What are you going to major in college?
I'm going to major in physical therapy.
Now, that's a good job. Lots of openings in that, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
And I suppose being with the basketball team, you see a lot of those injuries and stuff.
Yep, and they have a physical therapy program at Clarke, so it'll be really good for me.
You know, I hear a lot of good things about Clarke. What was the main factors that drew you to that school to play basketball and also further your education career?
For basketball, it's a really nice team. I had one overnight stay, and I stayed with the team, and everyone was really nice and opening. And I knew one of the girls who played there, and we were good friends, so that helped a lot in opening up to the team. And then on the academic side, the physical therapy part really played a part, because it's just I'd be done in 6 years instead of 8, and that sounds pretty good to me.
Have they given you an idea of what their expectations are for you from a basketball standpoint when you get there to Clarke?
Yeah, their expectations are pretty high because, they're paying me to go there, so...
That's the way to look at it.
So it's understandable, but I'm just going to play the game I know how to play, and I think everything will go okay.
And it's close to home, so everybody can come watch you once in a while, and they play some games in the area, don't they, once in a while, too?
Yeah, they do. So my family will be up there all the time.
Also, I know that you have played AAU. You mentioned that earlier. You played with the Rockford Heat, and I know you got to play with a couple of young ladies from the Rockford area. You guys, does that help you to kind of get a different perspective going from your high school team to the AAU team on what you're expected and maybe some different things you could do during that part of the season?
Yeah, AAU basketball is a completely different game of basketball because you're traveling and playing really good competition. You're playing Division I players all the time. And it makes you work harder and train with trainers, and it gives you a different part of your game and strengthens you like you wouldn't experience in high school basketball.
Did it help to have other kids that you've been hanging out with in AAU that were also getting recruited? Did they give you any advice on what to look for and what to be careful about and all those good things?
Yeah, it was a process. We all, since we've been friends since forever, we played together since 5th grade. It was a long journey. And everyone was it was new to everyone, and we were doing it together. One of the older players from last year was really helpful with advice and, what to choose and how to help yourself with your major. And it helped a lot to have people there that wanted the same thing as you. So you're all setting the same goal to go to college for basketball. So it was helpful.
Well, Jayla, thanks so much for getting up early on Valentine's Day. You getting a special Valentine from anybody, do you know?
Nope, just my dad.
Oh, just your dad. And that's good, isn't it? When your dad gives you that, that's good. Hey, thanks so much for being on today. Congratulations. We'll keep an eye on you when you're at Clarke, okay?
Okay, thank you for calling.
You bet. We've been talking to Jayla Penney, the all-time leading scorer at Rockford Christian in girls basketball. I'll tell you what, I love it when you talk to kids, and basically, education's pretty important to her.
Yeah, and that's what you like to see, and sometimes that's the way it's got to be. Everybody wants to be able to do other things professionally and those kinds of things. But yeah, sometimes that's what you got to look at, So that's going to be great for her, to do that, and a great career here in this area. We've had a lot of really, really, really good girls basketball players here in the last few years.
Well, you look at the girls that also scored 1,000 points. Cynthia Santiago from Belvedere did. We just mentioned Michaela Schmelzer as a junior, and there is one other one. The kid is it Lindsay Keller from Christian Life's also reached 1,000. That's a lot of kids scoring a lot of points.
It is.
And, I think sometimes they get overlooked, and there's so many talented kids in the same area like that, that sometimes you miss that.
You do, and it's easy to do that because there's players that play for higher profile programs. Maybe you scored 1,000 points, but your team wasn't very good, those kind of things. So, yeah, it's very easy for somebody to get overlooked, especially, again, like we said, when you got so many of them. It's hard to recognize each one sometimes.
Rock Valley College, Craig Doty, he does a good job of getting that local talent, bringing it in. I also saw Misty Opat's doing a lot of that. She got a couple of kids that are nice players from the area, and it's just nice to see we got some quality kids out there. But I think it kind of grows on the success of the Fred Van Fleets, the Marcus Posley, who had a great week.
An unbelievable week,
National Player of the Week, 2 buzzer beaters. That one against VCU was awesome. Yeah. But that helps when they say, Marcus Posley or Fred Van Fleet?
Because they start trying to figure out where these guys are coming from. And, especially when they put 2 and 2 together, say, they're from the same place. Man, we got to see what's going on in a place like that. And, so it gives other kids a chance to get out there and do stuff. I think you've got a really good potential for that to happen again next year, seeing depending where Jared Mays ends up. Because he's been so great there at Rock Valley.
They're knocking on his door.
And I think he's improved a lot of the aspects of his game that maybe led him to the junior college level to begin with, instead of maybe that Division I level. So I think you've got a chance to continue some of that and just see it continue to expand and get more people out this way.
Clarke's at NEIA school, so you don't have to go to a big school to get a good education, play basketball. Jensen Blossage, D2 down at Florida Southern, really starting to come on down there as a freshman, one of the team leaders now. it's just good to see kids making those adjustments and making Rockford proud.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we're proud of all of them that get out there and better themselves, get that education, and then also play well at the same time when they're doing that.
I try to keep updated with that. I'm starting to get people to send me stuff about their kids, but there are kids from all over this area playing basketball and other sports at a very high level. So
that there is, so it's good to see. It's always good to see that. It was something we didn't really talk about too much last week. We were kind of packed on some things. Was the signing day was, a couple weeks ago now. We had a lot of kids in this area, signing for different things at different places, and it was good to see.
If we went to every signing we were invited to, we'd never get home.
No, exactly.
That's how many signings there were.
And I'm sure some of it was we were just aware of more, but there seemed like there was a lot.
We're going to take a time out. Come back in the next segment. We're going to talk about the seeding process. Here on the State Line Sports Hour on News Talk 1440 WROK.